Want to turn any hangout into an epic party? Discover how Tap to Party can change your nights forever. Tap the link to learn more. I was truly amazed to meet Revanth Kondaveti, a founder who's tackling a huge problem with his startup. Revanth comes from a small town in India, has a fascinating visa journey, and even has published research in electrical engineering. After a master's, Revanth worked at big names like Meta and KLA, contributing to projects on cutting-edge tech. Plus, while hosting events in LA and SF, Revanth connected vendors with users, which sparked the idea for this startup. I can't wait for you to learn how Revanth is making waves in this industry. Today, we're diving into the world of Tap to Party. Revanth will share how he's simplifying event management and solving real problems for vendors. Stick around to find out how he's bridging gaps and creating better connections in the industry. Today, let's explore Tap to Party, a startup by Revanth Kondaveti that's changing how events are managed. Revanth realized that vendors needed better connections, so they linked local farms to restaurants, cutting waste and costs. By focusing on building trust and offering trial runs, Revanth gained loyal partners. The key takeaway? Always listen to your customers, address their pain points, and don't be afraid to start small. That's how Tap to Party is rapidly growing. Welcome to the Founders Show, where we spotlight amazing startups and the visionaries behind them. Today, we're excited to have Revanth Kondaveti, founder of Tap to Party, joining us. At Founders Show, we share inspiring stories and connect with our audience of over 100,000 subscribers. Whether you're starting your journey or looking to grow, we've got you covered. Let's get started. Hi, Revanth. This is Vatsa from the Founders Show. Thanks for joining this podcast, and I'm so glad to have you here with me. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Revanth. Thanks for asking. Let's dive in. Can you tell me the name of your startup and the big problem you're solving?
So the startup name is Tap to Party. The main problem we are solving is on vendor side. When you're throwing an event, people are always thinking about user side, putting like users first. But when it comes to vendor management and throwing these events, it is really, really hard to organize an event because we have thousands of apps at this point, thousands of businesses. So basically trying to make events as simple as possible and hosting the events as simple as possible for users and vendors connecting with each other as simple as possible. Let's say there's a farm and a restaurant, and farm needs to sell their produce to a restaurant. We directly connect farm to restaurant and restaurant to users so that there is no loss in food. They get cheaper food and they get better quotations. And it not only happen on the business side, it also happens on the user side as well. Yeah.
Got it, Revanth? So Tap to Party is focusing on simplifying event management, especially for vendors. You're just bridging the gap between vendors and users, making connections seamless, like linking farms
Yes.
to restaurants and restaurants to users. That's a unique angle.
Yeah.
What inspired you to focus on this vendor-centric approach?
So I initially started going at the user-centric approach, and then I figured out there are some apps that were doing that, but they were not delving into the problem because they are artificially generating leads because their business model is on lead generation. And vendors are getting charged on fake leads. So vendors that I worked with previously, they said like this is a real problem that you have to tackle. And we would do anything that could solve this. And I said, I would charge your subscription fee and I will also help you guys connect like with each other, all the businesses, so that like it is you guys are communicating in the same platform with each other when there is an event. So they agreed upon it, and restaurants was also facing one more problem during COVID. It was selling their food. And I partnered that with either universities as well as some of the students that I know at that moment. So that model worked well. And they suggested like, can you partner restaurants with farms? I went to the farms and tried to connect with local farms, which worked as well. So I streamlined all the connections and put together a app and website together. And now we are doing an offline business, and that is great. Yeah.
That's an incredible journey, Revanth. Shifting from a user centric approach to solving a real vendor pain point shows great adaptability. I love how you tackled lead generation issues and even supported restaurants during COVID by connecting them with farms and universities. It's clear you're building something impactful. How did you manage to gain trust and onboard those initial vendors and partners?
Yes, that is a good question. Initially, the trust started happening from the farm side because farmers are the one who was facing issues like small family farms. And I said, I don't want anything unless I get your business and unless I solve your problem. And that's when it started. And then I went to restaurants. There are existing produce suppliers for restaurants. And but at the same time, like so many restaurants said no. I said like, hey, can you try like maybe 10% of your weekly consumption? And I cannot promise you like all all the vegetables you will get, but I will promise you whatever the vegetables that I get for you, that will be the best vegetables out in the market. And that's how the restaurant trust happened as well as farms. So the trust in that chain happened and they started putting me into different sectors. Like they even included me into their venues and all. So yeah, now we are here.
That's brilliant, Revanth. Starting with small family farms and offering a results first approach really shows your commitment. And convincing restaurants with a small trial while guaranteeing quality was a smart move to build
Yeah,
trust. It's clear you've created a
yeah.
strong network. How did you scale this model from those initial connections to where Tap to Party is today?
So how it started is like it started with 5 farms and 5 restaurants. So we did like that connection and I asked like, can I do something? Like in the same time, like the word in the community especially spread across. So there were some restaurants in Palo Alto at that point of time, they wanted to try what I was building on, and they were having a good achievement and success rate. So one restaurant recommended other restaurant, or carrying with that restaurant's name, we were able to build on partnership with other restaurants because some of them are really good restaurants, I would say. Yeah.
That's amazing, Revanth. Starting small with just 5 restaurants and letting word of mouth in the community drive growth is such an organic and powerful strategy. It's impressive how one successful partnership led to others, especially with notable
Mhm.
restaurants in Palo Alto. How do you plan to expand this model further? Are you looking at new regions or industries?
So I recently moved from Palo Alto to New York, and we did not I took the business with me to New York City. And the problem in New York City is similar, like it uses 85% of produce from Cisco and other big giants like Farmer Bros. And then I again talked with local farms, which are a little bit upstate New York or Pennsylvania. So they have excess of produce. And I started directly connecting them. And around September and October, we started seeing a lot of good results. And we are planning to do this even in the next crop season, scaling up bigger than what we are.
That's fantastic, Revanth. Expanding to New York City and tackling the reliance on big suppliers like Cisco by connecting local farms is a bold move. It's great to hear you're already seeing results and planning to scale further next crop season. What's been the biggest challenge in
Yeah.
adapting your model to a new city like New York?
I think, especially here, what I observed is people do not want to take up the risk and change, even though New York City is considered to be like people where who takes a lot of bold risks. But especially in events and hospitality industry, it's still the same, where you follow on intersection rules, where you follow on traditional marketing and social media marketing, and that puts in the revenue. And but at the same time, when it comes to back-end operations of the restaurants or any business, they're not willing to take risk. And there were some restaurants, art galleries, venues who started to take risk with me, and I was really blessed. Like I was able to meet them and was able to contribute at 1% to it at this point, at least a 1% to this. Yeah.
That's insightful, Revanth. It's interesting how, even in a dynamic city like New York, the hospitality industry can be resistant to change, especially in back end
Yeah.
operations. It's inspiring that some restaurants, art galleries, and venues trusted you to take that leap. What strategies have you used to convince these businesses to take that initial risk with Tap to a Party?
So the strategy is simple. It's more enabling trust. Like if I can get your business, then I will take something like commission from you. And if I cannot, I'm sorry that cannot get your business at this moment, but I will help you get you more business in future. We again saw in the issues of where let's take a gallery for example. So gallery puts out event shows for artists, but at the same time like we see small issues there that could help the gallery as well as help an artist there. And we help them throw like different events even there to boost their revenue, not only by selling art, but also by doing like events with art. So like a private art shows and all these things. So these are slowly starting to increase even in New York City, and we are seeing within next 1-2 years hopefully we'll be the top of the town. Yeah.
That's a thoughtful approach, Revanta, building trust by offering value first and only earning when you deliver results. I love how you are
Yes.
addressing even small operational issues for galleries and artists, like hosting private art shows to boost revenue. It's clear you're creating a win win for everyone involved. With your vision for the
Yes.
next 1 to 2 years, what's your ultimate goal for Tap to a Party? Where do you see it heading?
I think within next 2 years, I want Chapter Party to be known in New York City as well as in US,
That's a
especially
fantastic
for
goal,
all the
Revant.
businesses connected with each other, solving their own problems with the tools that we provide and all these things. And we will be tapping into giving users more and more features like even how to have fun in events. Like we have this light watch coming up soon. It's a passion project, and it is basically like have you been to Taylor Swift concert? Like you have like pixelated lights, and that could be replaced by your smartwatch. So that is one of the things that we are developing at this moment to enhance user experiences and all these events, throwing these events. So all these things like A to Z, when you think of an event, you think of Tap to Party. That's the goal within 2 to 5 years. That's the goal, I would say.
Revanth. Making Tap to Party the go-to name for events in the US is ambitious and exciting. I love the idea of enhancing user experiences like the Smartwatch Light Show. It's innovative and adds a unique touch to events. With such a comprehensive vision, what's the next big milestone you're working toward to bring this dream closer to reality?
I think the biggest milestone for us is going to be the next fundraising. So we are making sure if our company will be able to raise that, we would not have any going back. And that would be no stopping in for Tap to Party.
That's a pivotal milestone, Revanth. Securing your next round of funding will definitely set the stage for scaling Tap to Party to new heights. What's your strategy for approaching investors, and how are you planning to showcase the value and potential of your business?
Yes, definitely. One,
That's great to hear, Revanth. It sounds like you're gearing up for something big. What's one key message or highlight you want investors to take away about Tap to Party?
all the events that you see today are today, and Tap to Party is the future of events. That's what I would say.
I love that, Revanth. Bold and forward thinking. Tap to Party is the future of events is a powerful message. Before we wrap up, what advice would you give to other founders navigating challenges in their early stages?
I would say keep on pushing. There will be good days and there will be hard days. And even in hard days, don't give up and keep on pushing. And if you need any advice, they could also reach out to me. I could help out.
That's inspiring advice, Revanth. Persistence truly is key. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and vision for Tap to Party. It's been a pleasure having you on the podcast. Wishing you all the best with your next milestones and making Tap to Party the future of events.
Thank you very much, Vatsa. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Revanth. It was a pleasure having you. Take care and all the best. Thanks for tuning into the Founder Show. If you enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future stories. If you're a startup founder and want to share your journey, head over to founder.show and sign up to be featured on the podcast. We'd love to hear from you. Keep dreaming big and see you next time.